got bullets, babes, and boobs and beers, long ass mullets and Norris's beard. Kicking ass and getting it done, and ending every catchphrase with a click of a gun. If you like hand grenades and ninja stars, taking out henchmen and finding bars, big rabbit dogs and haunted cars, we're talking about keeping life rated R. Keeping life rated R.
Hey, what's up all you horror fans, all you freaks, geeks, nerds, dweebs, turds, basement dwellers, and of course, all you mouth breathers out there. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the R-Rated Show. I'm your host, Josh James, and this episode is awesome because me and Nik Utam for World Class Bullshitters got together and interviewed Laura Ortiz, a very talented, beautiful actress from Hollywood. And she's been in movies you may know, most notably probably the Hills Have Eyes remake, and also from the horror sitcom Holliston, which is an Adam Green joint. And I just reached out to her on Twitter. I was like, hey, we'd love to interview you. I think I was going through a Hills Have Eyes phase, and I noticed that she was on Twitter a lot. She actually liked the R-Rated Horror Commentary Podcast Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Well, maybe she'd do an interview. So I just reached out, asked her kindly, would you mind? And she obliged us. So as always, I bring Nik on board to be my interviewing sidekick, because he sort of helps keep things focused and ask good questions and has a great laugh. So yeah, we record this over the summer, and we hope you enjoy it, because we sure as hell did. Laura's really sweet, down to earth, and she tells us about how she got into Hollywood, how she got some acting roles, her experiences being pregnant, and coming up with the new show Heart Baby Eggplant, which is just got funded and is going to be dropping somewhere around social media sometime soon. Sounds really interesting. So I urge you to check that out. And just want to say thank you so much to Laura for giving us some of her time, and enjoy, guys.
So if there's one thing you should know about me is that I will keep pushing the envelope until you stop. I won't lose. Do you want to go on an adventure? And I'm like, yeah. The answer is always yes if anyone ever asks me to go on any adventure.
That normally people always think like friendship stuff is going to be like, oh, all kumbaya and whatnot. But there's like a lot of situations that we have gotten ourselves in real life that we've sort of written into the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is almost kind of like a little bit reality, a little bit scripted sort of thing. Like, just riffing off your own sort of experiences in life.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where we've had conversations where like, why isn't this on TV? And people probably would think it's too much and that it's not real.
True. What got you into stand-up?
Actually, that's how I met my manager many years ago. I was actually agentless, and I was sort of a little bit jaded and needed a break from the business, as I think anybody in any job industry sometimes feels. And I really just wanted to do something that made me happy. And I never thought of myself as a stand-up or a comedian in any way. Actually, I thought of myself more of as a very serious actress. And I started doing stand-up like secretly just because I liked it. And I started getting a lot of heat from that. And that's actually how I met my manager and my agents and whatnot. And it's funny because it's kind of like dating. When you're not looking for something and you're just doing something that makes you happy, it's when everyone wants to talk to you and is interested. And that's kind of how I met my manager. And then I stopped doing it because I didn't want to make I didn't want the joy of it to go away by making it a career per se.
Okay.
And then I sort of stopped for a while, and I realized how much I missed it. So in the past 9 months, I just got back into it. And I've been getting a lot of shows and a lot of heat from it again. So this might be something that I'll pursue more this time around, because I'm really enjoying it and it's fun, and I've been really lucky that I've been able to get shows so quickly, because I know it's not usually this smooth for most everyone.
Will we see any of your sets on the internet or anything anytime soon?
Don't. Oh, hopefully. I actually don't have anything up anywhere really.
Okay.
But
I was kind of looking around for some, I don't know, cell phone videos or something from a comedy club. I couldn't find anything, and I was bummed because you legitimately seem like a funny person. I was interested to see what your material's like, but you should get like something out there so we can.
I think I have like an old set on my website, which is just like lauraortiz.com. I think I don't even know. It's like a website that a friend like set up for me a while back, and I just never check it. But I think there's like a SoundCloud that somebody once like uploaded, and then we found it, so we just put it on my site. I don't know if that's how things work, but I feel like they're using my stuff, I'm using their stuff of mine.
Yeah, it's mutual. It's all how it works.
Yeah.
Me and Nick know all about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's collaborating. It's good, but it's cool that you're getting out there. I think comedy seems like something that suits you well. I mean, even the little bits of comedy you do a lot of comedy, and the work that you've done as an actress really connects, I think, well. So good for you.
Thank you.
And best of luck with that, for sure.
Oh yeah, you were one of my favorite characters in Holliston. You were hilarious.
Thank you.
Also
listening to Adam's live podcast on Saturday, I think it is.
Yeah. Also, Market Basket.
Oh, Market Basket.
Did you think that you were going to end up doing like sitcom type stuff? Because I mean, essentially, in case you don't know, I mean, I'm sure most horror fans do know, but Holliston's like a little bit of that 70s show mixed with like like a horror convention. It's a horror themed show, but it's got a little bit of that 70s show mixed into it. It's a sitcom style show. Did you think that you would end up doing that kind of work, or did you just kind of roll with it and see where it would take you? Or
I never thought of myself as funny, I guess. I think when I first started acting, I was thinking more of like, the big dramatic roles and whatnot. And I the first things I did were pretty dramatic, I guess. It was like a sleeper cell on the Hillshaveeyes and whatnot.
Right.
But it always just kind of depends on the role and like the script and the director and the team. But I really enjoy both in different ways, and each project is so different that it's hard to choose like which one I like better, or saying that I was I never thought that I would be like as successful in comedy. I never really thought of myself like as a stand-up or doing as many sitcoms and whatnot as I have. But I'm happy to be doing it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is it about like your personality or your acting chops you think that lends itself so well to comedy? Because it seems to slip right on you like a well-fitting glove.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty like open about stuff. I don't really care what people. I don't care about looking like silly or dumb. I like having fun, and I think also maybe even like cultural wise, like I'm Colombian. If you ever go to Colombia, everybody, even just the way that we speak, it's very like play on words and very silly. And I think maybe that's the Colombian in me that translates.
That's awesome. Yeah, Nick, you want to jump in there? Sorry, I cut you off, man. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was gonna ask was it the show you're trying to get going? How much do you have written, and how much are you shooting for it? Do you have a whole season written, or just a couple episodes, or what's going on?
So we have 9 episodes written, and we're actually right now trying to so if you go to seedandspark.com and then if you go to my Instagram, actually, which will be easier, Instagram.com Laura Tiz, Lauratiz. On my bio, you can see a link to everything on it that we have. We're trying to raise money currently, and we're looking for people to contribute and be part of the team. And of course, there's amazing incentives. We have everything from, a thank you shout out to being an associate producer on the show. So we're right now, everything's written, everything's ready to go. We're just trying to get the money to get it going.
Sweet. So if I send you guys like $100, can I like direct an episode or?
Direct one, but you will definitely get like headshots from all of us and social media shout outs. We'll do like a personalized video for you. You can do
Oh, that's cool. That ties me into a question. Do you do like conventions and stuff like that? I don't think I've seen you on the circuit yet, but I know a lot of people are starting to get out there. Is that something you're interested in doing or have done?
I have done conventions, and they're a lot of fun. I don't do them often because I don't like flying.
Oh yeah,
it's so funny. It's actually more of like a new fear, but I don't do them often. I like to do them when I have with like my friends and whatnot. When we did Holliston conventions, I really loved going with the team and whatnot. I would do them more. It just all depends on timing. Usually, a few of the times that I've been invited and whatnot, I've had work projects that I've been working here that I can't stop filming to go do it. But I have done them and I would do them again. I'm sure I'll do them again in the future. I just don't do them often.
Yeah, real quick, let me follow up that question with this one. What is it about flying that skeezes you out? Like what? Because I get like super panicky sometimes on planes, and I have to like chug like 3 beers and like just take a nap somewhere, like, and then I'm cool, but like, I definitely get that like freaked out since I get a little claustrophobic. Is it something like that? I mean, what is it about flying that freaks you out?
I think it's a little bit like almost becoming a backseat driver and you don't know what's going on or why it's happening. Like I had a couple flights that have had pretty bad turbulence, and one of them I was just so scared because I didn't tell you anything. And then there was another one actually recently, but that had like the wing of the plane almost touched like the ground when we were landing.
Oh god, yeah.
Really bad.
Oh my gosh.
But and that actually scared me less only because the pilot said, "Hey, in about 2 minutes, we're about to go through really bad turbulence. It's fine. We're expecting it." And so when it happened, it wasn't like, "Oh my God, what's happening all of a sudden?" Right? It was like, "Oh, we know this is happening." So, but usually like pilots don't tell you that stuff, so you just assume that they're as scared as you are.
Oh yeah, I was taking a large, I think it was like a 777, like one of those really large jumbo planes back from like Chicago straight to Hawaii, and right after takeoff, like the left engine just like shut off.
No.
And we, like,
oh my god.
We started to bank like really hard over the what do you call it, the lake right there, because Chicago's right on the lake, and I mean I fucking like
I can't.
I white knuckled it, and then
Oh,
I heard him try to turn the engine back on, and it didn't start, and then he tried it again and went back on it, and it leveled out, and then we had to fly like 9 hours to like Hawaii.
Like, get me out of here
oh
now.
my god.
Laura's totally right. Like I had that feeling like, oh my god, I can't be here. And I was like waving down like the flight attendant. I was like, bring me like 2 Jack and Cokes like immediately.
Yeah, minus the Coke, just the Jack. Right.
Yes. Right into the main vein.
I haven't had that bad. I think the worst turbulence I had, and actually like the worst thing that's ever happened to me on a plane. And if anyone knows how I can get my memories back, let me know. But I was going to a convention, and before we flew, and I've never had the thought like I'm not getting on the plane, but another person I was flying with, I won't name, was like, I feel like we shouldn't go to this convention. Like she's like, I don't want to fly. And I was like, that's weird. God. Should I not fly?
It's not the final destination.
Yeah. And I was just like, should I not fly? Like I'd rather not. And then she's like, I hear there's like a really bad storm in Jersey, which is where we were going. And I was like, well, it probably already passed. Like we wouldn't be flying if it was that bad. And then I got on the plane, and after they shut the doors, they were like, hey, it's going to be really extreme weather the entire time. And I was like, and then I thought like, I was kind of embarrassed. I wanted to get up and go, and I wish I had, but then I like didn't want to be that person, especially because I was like in a middle seat, and I just felt like, I was like, you know what, it'll be fine. And it was like the worst flight. It was turbulence for the entire like 5 hours.
Oh god.
And then at the end, because I was so
Fried.
Like scared.
Yeah.
I was just like glad to have landed, and everybody got off the plane before me, and I remember I was the last one, and I got up and I left, and like 2 minutes later I was like, crap, I left my computer on the seat.
Oh shit! You were just like, get me off this plane, and you just totally forgot about your lap book.
Yeah, and then I turned around, and I saw the cleaning crew come in. So that was the only people besides me. And I left, and then I like turned around and like ran back to the plane, and they're like, sorry, we didn't find anything.
Oh no!
Like,
oh,
United did nothing. They were just like, don't worry, it'll turn up in 2 days or something. They always bring it to this thing.
Yeah.
And what was shitty was like, that was a brand new computer, and I had just like I had like my wedding video, and grandpa had just passed away, and I had like all these memories of him on there that I hadn't backed up.
That's the worst, because I mean, you can just buy a new laptop but lose it.
Yeah, like I didn't care about the laptop, but if there was like a way that I could get those photos or like those videos back.
Yeah, somebody just slipped it into their cart and took it home with them or something, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, flying is it's such a hassle, because I just came back from Oregon. I was visiting my mom in Portland, and we did all this great stuff, like outdoorsy stuff and everything. But that's a pretty. I mean, the flight really was fine, but it's just a long flight, so it kind of gets to you after a while. But I totally understand. Like, I dread it. I dread it. I just try to go with it, like.
Especially like flying over water for a really long time. Like we went to earlier this summer, last year. I don't even remember. We went to Bora Bora, and from LA to Tahiti. I mean, it's the best.
That's awesome.
It's all water, and like Tahiti's like a tiny island, and the entire time, because I was like, if anything goes wrong, where do we land? Like, there's no emergency landing around here. And so, like, I just kept thinking that and drinking. So, like, if there was an accident, I would be completely incapacitated.
Laura, take it from me. You got to load up on as much media on your lap book as you can, or just watch the in-flight movies, or just sleep deprive yourself. So when you get on the plane, you just have to sleep through most of it. That's the way to do it. Just gonna break up big chunks of it. You break it down,
You know what, like, slightly helped my fear for like a minute was, do you remember that the SeaTac employee who stole a plane?
Oh my God, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
That was insane, but it made me feel like, well, if he can fly it, and the what do you call it? The people that tell you what to do, the
FAA.
No, the ones who the people that work at the tower.
Oh, the tower. Yeah, just the tower.
Yeah, like they were pretty confident they could tell him how to land it and stuff. And I was like, well,
air traffic control, right?
Yeah, the air traffic controllers. They were like trying to tell him how to land it, and he didn't want to. But I thought, like, okay, if somebody with zero experience can just figure it out and could be talked onto how to, land it safely, the pilots that have.
Well, my thing about it, this is what I always tell myself to reassure myself and calm the fuck down. I was just saying to myself, like, those motherfuckers don't want to die. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to land this plane one way or the other. I mean, even the cockiest, pilot doesn't want to crash. You know what I mean? Like, he's got things to live for. So I just figure, you know what? I'm in good hands. He'll be fine. Usually I can take my mind off of it, and,
Yeah.
Booze always helps.
Like the Boeing 737 Max.
Mm-hmm.
That does not help fears.
I made a mistake of watching a bunch of those like air crash investigation documentaries. So such a bad idea, because now I have a Rolodex of a million things in my mind of like what could go wrong in a flight, And it's like I could have skipped over that, So Laura, I recommend not watching those.
I won't.
I just, I had to get off on that subject because it's just, I'm curious to find out what makes people tick. But
we can talk about sharks.
Oh, gosh. Well, I think it's interesting that you're from Colombia. Now, did you? You're Colombian. Your family is from Colombia. And did your family immigrate to the United States and then you grew up in the United States, or did you come here on your own, or what was the deal with that?
So my entire family is from Colombia. I was born there. I came when I was 7 years old. And we moved first to Florida for like a year, and then Minnesota, and we came for my mom's job. So her company, there was a time in the early 90s where the US was just going basically to Colombia to ask people to please come work to learn English and consider working at the hospitals here, because I guess I don't know, I was too young to like know, but I remember that was sort of the plan. First, they were just like, companies were coming out there and just being like, please learn English, think of coming to the US, because they were really short on. My mom's an occupational therapist, so I guess they were short on that. And so her job and her company just plucked her out and brought us here, and then she worked for the Mayo Clinic for a long time, and so that's what brought us out here.
And so you grew up just wanting to be an actress, and then you just kind of went for it. I mean, I think it's really amazing that, I mean, from what the research I've done finding out about you is that you sort of just tried out, you auditioned for a role, and then you just kind of got the Hills Have Eyes role. Like, I think you did a little bit of work of TV work before that, but a big role in movies.
I hadn't actually. So coming to LA was kind of, I always knew, and I always told my mom that as soon as I turned 18, I was leaving. And I turned 18, and I remember one time, like, my mom had just bought herself like a new bedroom, like, like comforter and all that stuff. And I was like, I want one. And she's like, you're 18. I thought you were leaving. Hey.
Your mom reminds me of my mom a little bit.
Yeah, she was just like, I thought, sure, I would get you one, but I thought you were leaving. And,
you've been 18 for 2 months. Why are you still here?
Yeah, basically. And then my brother was also like, hey, I thought you were gonna leave when you were 18. And I was like, you know what? I'm leaving. And I didn't know anything about like college applications or anything like that, to be honest. I didn't understand it. But I applied to a bunch of colleges just generically in LA and New York, and I heard from LA first. So I landed here, and then I met this woman who wanted to be an agent. She actually wasn't even an agent, and which sometimes it's kind of the best when you just have two hungry people. And she figured out how to be an agent and getting all the stuff. And I was her number one client. So she was sending me out on everything. And one of the first things that I got sent out on was the Hills Have Eyes audition. And that was like back in January of Jeebus, I don't know, 2005.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we got that, and I remember that audition.
Amazing.
They kept calling and asking if I had tape and what else had I done, and I had zero.
You're like, yeah, I'll get that to you right away. You're like, got nothing.
I wasn't SAG, I wasn't, and I didn't know what tape meant at the time, but I had like, when you come to LA, it's expensive, so I had like 20 jobs, so I probably looked pretty emaciated and tired, and they were like, this girl's great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, let me pause you there for a minute, because I'm really interested to know this. Like, what is it about yourself or the situation that occurred that made you think gave you that opportunity to get that job? Like, why did they pick you for that role of Rose, like, out of all the people?
I think I was really hungry, both physically and mentally. And I was going to community college, LA Valley College here in LA, and I was taking one acting class, and I remember I didn't even ask the teacher. I asked this guy in my class who I just thought was such an amazing actor, because even if you know nothing about a certain art, you recognize when somebody's good. And I just asked him if he would work on the scene with me, and I literally worked on that every chance that I had. And like I said, back then I had easily 5 jobs, and in between every job, I think that really helped me, because anytime I had any free time, I was just purely focusing on the scene, the character, the script. And also it really helped me to look at videos of Wes Craven, for example, talking about what he looked for in actors and in movies. And I did watch the first Hills Have Eyes, but I also, more than anything, watched sort of the creator of this talk about it to get inspiration for that.
Right. That's awesome. So like what is the sort of thing that they would require an actress to do to audition for a role like the one that you performed in Hills Have Eyes? Because it's a very physical role, and also, as well as mental. So like what was it that they were asking for you to do in an audition like that?
So I do remember that there was very little dialogue. There was a little bit of dialogue, but it was very little. And I do remember like the breakdown said she's cute and deformed, and I thought that's me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't play her as. I mean, yeah, I took in mind that she probably moved a little bit different just because of how her hands were and stuff. But at the end of the day, I didn't play her like a monster or anything like that. I really took into account the fact that she is in a lot of ways very innocent and naive, and all this stuff that she's going through, or like for example, the new family that she's seeing, and she's very curious about them. I don't think she ever really thought of like herself and what she looked like or where she was coming from, as much as she was just very curious about this new family and was very shy and innocent and wanting the best for everyone, and also kind of having a crush on probably on Bobby, because she's probably never seen someone outside her family her age.
Right.
And sort of seeing this normal family be more loving than what I'm assuming her family is. So I really kind of took her character and sort of modeled it after maybe just like a really sweet, innocent child who probably came from abuse. It's kind of what I was thinking is probably what she would be.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, and as far as like, just on a side note, like, remakes of classics usually are just awful, I think. But as far as remakes goes, like Hills Have Eyes, like really nailed it. I thought it was really good. So
yeah, it's
you
a
dodged
very
the
good
bullet.
movie.
Yeah, Alex Aja did such an amazing job, and as he does, he wrote and directed it, and he really was able to make it his own, yet still keep the heart of what people loved on the first one intact.
I totally agree. Yeah, it's really
Did
good.
you see Piranha 3D?
Oh yeah, we've podcasted about it. I love that movie. It's so much fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, great movie. I mean, it's perfect, like campy popcorn summer movie. I mean, it's nice 3D, and gory, man. Nice and gory. And
I love the movie when it came out. I thought it was the greatest thing ever when it came out. I was like, this is awesome. I watched it, I think 2 or 3 times in theaters because I really liked it.
It was amazing. Like I was really not that I wasn't expecting it to be good, but I was like shocked how much fun I had.
Oh, yeah, it's so much fun.
Absolutely. Like to this day, the podcast that Matt and I did on that episode or for that movie has like I think the second most hits, next to like Nightmare Sisters, and we all know why everybody clicks on Nightmare Sisters, right? So yeah, I mean, people love that movie because it's a good time, and I'm one of them. So yeah,
I like that I'm like plugging you, even though like I wasn't in it, but I love it. I want to watch it again. More movies more movies like that, more movies like Crank. Thank you.
Oh, Crank is so much fun. I love Jason Statham in those movies. He's insane. Crazy. He's having so much fun in those movies.
Yeah, I can't imagine a more fun role.
Mm-hmm. I love movies that have balls, and that brings up a movie that you've been in that has a lot of balls, Chillerama, which is a crazy movie, and I just love it to death. It's a little anthology movie that came out, I think it was like, what year was it, 2011?
And sounds about right.
Yeah, and that I just happened upon that, I think on Netflix maybe, and I was intrigued by the title. I hadn't seen it before, and man, is it a wild time. And so that's where you met, I think, Adam Green, right?
No, actually, I met Adam Green shortly after I did The Hills Have Eyes at a convention.
Awesome.
Signing. And he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, who's your agent?" And I told him, and then I never heard from him again. And then I had auditioned for this romantic comedy actually, and I booked it. And I found out that the director was Adam Green. He had written and directed this movie that ended up not happening. But that's how I met him way back in like 2007. I met him,
That's awesome.
and we've just been friends ever since.
That's awesome. So, what was that experience like working on that movie? Because it's an anthology, so you were part of like I think there's like 4 different like small films all pushed together into one sort of overall story. And I think you were on the 3rd one, the one
No,
with Kate Hodder.
I was
Right?
actually in Joe Lynch's, and
the wraparound, correct?
I know you were the girl Desi that works in the
yeah, the zombie
just
one.
stand.
That was Joe Lynch's, and then I had like a small cameo in Adam Green's Holocaust remake.
I rewatched it the other night. I think actually, funny tie-in. I was watching it on the plane because I downloaded it, so I was watching it on my laptop. And that face that you make, that like that stunned face in that segment, really made me laugh hard. I'm sure everybody turned and looked at me on the plane, but
It was really good. One of my favorite stories from shooting that was so obviously like I came in like no makeup and whatnot, and they just kind of like put some white stuff on my face to make me look a little bit more gaunt. And like Joe Moore came in to work, and he just looked at me. He's like, "Hey, are you okay?" I was like, what? He's like, "You look really sick." And I was like, "It's makeup." What a nice way to be like, "Hey, you look like shit." Like, everyone was like made up all pretty, and then there's me where they're like, "Oh, we don't have to do much on you. We're just gonna put white powder on your face." And
maybe that's what added to the hilariousness of that your little cameo there.
yeah,
It's a nice contrast to your other role in the movie, you know, where you the red lipstick and you're flirting with the guy and stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I love working with those guys, with Adam and Joe, and they're just like brothers to me.
That's
And
awesome.
they're so happy, and they're the best when they're like at work in their element.
Yeah, I think those 2 dudes are a good example of what we need for guys making movies in the horror industry, because they really do it from the heart. They love it and they have fun with it, and they support people that that the fans love. So that's really cool. And Felissa, loves those guys as well. So we just talked to her like a couple of weeks ago, and she was singing their praises too. So yeah, we need more of stuff from those guys.
Yeah.
The Victor Crawley movie that you ran recently, I think that was early 2017.
Yes.
That came out. Yeah, that was an awesome entry. You co-starred with Felissa and had pretty big significant role in the movie.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
I mean, amazing. Anytime that you get to have, first of all, like everyone that I worked with in that movie, like Adam has such a great knack for putting people together that really do become family. So just being on set it's always fun, and and they're all very serious actors and really good at what they do. So in so many different layers, it's such a gift to be able to be there. Also great that he trusted me with such a large role in the movie, and to be able to do that, and he, because he knows me, he knows what I can do, and it's really great to get a chance to play these things that normally you don't even get to audition for, because being in LA and the things that you get to audition for are usually like, okay, so you're really funny or you're really cute, so you're going to play sort of, the things that you get more chances to do are cutesy fun things, or not as well-rounded as
Yeah, you seem to get typecast a lot or something, correct?
Yeah, people get typecast all the time, and I love that whenever Adam finds writes something for me, it's something so different than I would normally get to do, and that he believes that I can do it and knows that I will do it. So it's always a lot of fun to dive into all those roles.
Yeah, it was. I really did like that movie. I hope he makes more of them and keeps going with it, because I love that series.
Oh, it's great. It really was a slasher revival,
Yeah. Yeah, I assume working with them is just kind of like having, pretty much just having fun all day, and I don't know, I guess a little work happens as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. They really are actually very serious guys that work, but you can just tell, even just watching them from afar and whatnot, that this is they're in their groove. They're
Yeah.
definitely in their element.
People are into it. It's not going through the motions or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was a lot of fun. Nick, why don't you ask a few questions since we're winding down on time here?
I was going to say, are you working with Felissa Rosen on anything?
Kind of. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about
no,
it.
yeah. If you're not allowed to, I mean that's perfectly fine. I was wondering if you could, cool. If not, I understand entirely. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I mean, did she mention anything when she was at the podcast?
She did mention that you were working with her on something. She never named it or anything. So
okay, yeah. I can't talk about it, but
that's fine.
But yes, potentially yes.
Cool. Can't wait to see it, whatever it is.
Yeah. It'll be enjoyable.
Yep. That's all I got.
Oh, I want to ask you, hey, so you did a small scene in Orbit. What was it like acting with Eddie Murphy in a fat suit? That must have been interesting. I mean, that must be like one of those surreal moments in life where you're like, that's Eddie Murphy. He's like wearing all his prosthetics and shit. Like, was that an enjoyable experience? Was it terrible? Like, what do you?
It was a lot of fun, and it was actually, I got a call like the day before. I remember I was just like at lunch. They're like, hey, we have an offer for you. Do you want to work tomorrow? And I didn't even know what it was, to be honest. And I was like, sure, just let me know. And they're like, oh, it'll be a Warner Brothers.
Oh, it's an Orbit.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was really, I mean, as you can see, the scene was very short, and it was just as short on the day. But it was just kind of one of those like cool surreal moments, kind of like I remember when I got Horton Hears the Who, that I was actually in Florida when they called me about it, if I would just audition, if I would send in some like tape of my voice, and I didn't know how to do an MP3 or like record my voice. I don't know, like technology to me is just, I just rather not. And and I didn't send it in time, and then when I got back to LA, they're like, hey, they still really want to hear you. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. And I went, and I had no idea what it was for. They never tell you anything. They're just like, they just want you to read this tape, this like copy. So I went and I read it, and then I booked it, and I thought, okay, cool. And I went in to record, and then they're showing me like the storyboards, and I was like, wait a minute, I know what this is. And then they're like, oh, and then this is, this is Horton with like Jim Carrey, and then this, and I was like, what? Oh my God.
You're like, holy shit.
Go to the audition. I was being so difficult. But that was pretty.
They're probably like, oh, this chick's legit. She doesn't give a fuck about anybody in this movie. Probably helped you out,
Maybe. I hope so. Because
man.
Like, yes, what time? Where? I'll be 2 hours early. But I think I was just like busy, and I was flying around, and I was in Florida, and I was here, and I didn't know how to get things done. And normally, like, especially for voiceover auditions, they just kind of tell you, here's the copy, send in the tape by this time, and then you just never hear whether you send it, or even if you don't send it, like, they don't care. They don't follow up.
Yeah.
God.
And this time, like, they kept following up. They were like, they really want to hear you. And I was like, all right, I'll go. And then when I stepped in and they were like explaining it to me, I was like, what? Who? Oh.
Yeah, you're doing some voiceover stuff, or you have been doing some stuff for a while. You've been on Robot Chicken and a couple others, a couple Disney shows actually. Was it Fish Hooks?
I did Fish Hooks and Pickle and Peanut, and just an array of their different children's show. And I do audiobooks, and pretty much a little bit of everything I got my hand dipped into. I like working. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so I'm always excited to do different projects in like different ways, because they're all very creative and many different genres. And then they're all fun to do. It never gets boring.
Is there like a animated show that you really would love to be on? Like, F is for Family or Family Guy or Simpsons or something like that. I mean,
Family
Simpsons,
Guy.
obviously.
Well, The Simpsons, obviously.
Yeah, because they're like, it's like having your name etched in stone.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're there
Family
forever.
Guy.
I
Family
didn't
Guy's
even
great
like
too.
The Simpsons didn't even come to mind because it's just like such a like. Is that too big? But you know what? Fuck it. The Simpsons. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to be the new character in The Simpsons.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like when you do voiceover stuff, especially for a feature length movie like Horton, how does that work? Do you go in for like a couple of days? Like, do they do everything in a week, or how does that work?
That's a good question. I never know.
Okay.
It just
That's why Nick's on the show.
yeah. So yeah, usually like you get a recording time, and they're usually in 4-hour blocks. And sometimes you take the full 4 hours, and sometimes you don't. But usually you'll go in, you'll record, then they'll go. I'm assuming drawing or doing the animation, and then as they're doing that, they'll call you back to tweak some lines or add a few sounds here and there. And then you just never hear back until the project is done.
Okay. So it's pretty straightforward, simple work then.
Yeah, it's so
Okay.
much fun, and it's if you when it comes, it's very great.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
That's sweet. What was up with the Guardians of the Galaxy thing? Like, how that drop in your lap? Like, you seem to be like charmed. Like, things just happen to you. Rub a little bit of that off on me, please.
I wish this was a better story, but it's sort of, again, one of those stories that I've known James for a long time, and I didn't know what this was because I got an email from his assistant one day, and it just said like, "Hey, are you available? Would you do this thing for James?" And I knew that he was done filming some big movie. So I wasn't sure.
This was obviously before like Guardians of the Galaxy was a successful franchise.
Yeah, this is before Guardians of the Galaxy was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
I knew he had been filming a movie somewhere, but I knew that was done. So I filmed way later during their like pickups and whatnot. And I just got an email asking like, "Hey, James is working on this thing, and he wants to know if you want to be a part of it at all." And I wasn't sure what it was. I actually thought maybe it was he used to have this like web thing called PG porn. Called like, it's like everything you love about porn without the sex.
Interesting.
And I kind of thought it was gonna be that, like that, because I know he likes to play around and just like film around with his friends and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Just let me know where you need me to be and what he needs me to do, and I'll be there. So it really, for all I knew, it could have just been, "Hey, we're at my house. We're gonna film this thing. I think it's funny." And then it started sounding like it was bigger because then it was like a studio, and then I showed up, and then they started, because I still at this point had no idea what I was doing.
They're like throwing pink paint on you right when you walk in the door. You're like, "What's happening?" You're like,
yeah, basically.
"Stand here and do this, okay?"
Yeah, and then I remember they're like, "Do you want to go on the stage?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'd love to go see what this is all about." And then it was really cool seeing some of the scenes get filmed, and then back to getting dressed all in pink, and yeah, and that was it.
It's really cool that you got a little morsel of the MCU, you know?
Yeah, you're permanently part of it now. You're part of it.
Yeah, I'd love to be a bigger part of it.
Hey, it's not over yet. You never know.
I know.
We'll be singing your praises for sure. Well, listen, you've been with us for a good amount of time. I know you gotta get going, but we have a tradition here. We do a lightning round at the end. Do you want to do it real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. Question number 1.
Go.
What's your favorite fast food?
Right now, burgers.
Like Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's?
In-N-Out. I'm really super into In-N-Out. 2 double patties, no cheese, animal style.
Perfect.
Nice.
Number 2. What's top on your playlist that you keep playing over and over and over again?
No Diggity. by Blackstreet.
Wait, what? You broke up. What is it?
No Diggity by Blackstreet.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look that one No,
I know that song. I used to
It's
listen to
like
it a lot in high
early
school.
90s, but it's always like if I want to work out or if like something, or if I'm just like feeling like lethargic and I just need like a quick pick me up, that does it.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to listen to that like on like repeat tonight.
Like,
Let's see.
Think of like middle school dances.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
sweet. I don't know
Mhm.
why I don't know that one. Crazy.
You'll know it as soon as you hear it.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
It'll come back. Trust me, it'll come back.
Number 3. Who's your favorite comedian right now?
Ali Wong. I've been listening to her a lot. I don't know if she's my Bonnie McFarlane's also amazing. Maria Bamford. I just watched the Dave Chappelle special. I don't have a favorite one. They're all amazing for such different reasons.
It's cool. I feel you. Let's see.
I guess
Number
right now I've
4.
been watching a lot of Ali Wong.
Ali Wong. Yeah, I'll have to get caught up. She a Netflix thing going on or what?
Yeah, she's got like 2-3 specials right now.
Oh, nice.
There's so many comedians like breaking out right now. It's awesome. Number 4, current binge watch on TV or Netflix or whatever.
Does Impractical Jokers count? We watch that way too often.
I think that's actually what Felissa said, isn't it?
Yeah, she did. Yes, she
She
did.
said that too. Are you guys watching that show together? What's going on?
We don't. I had no idea she watched it.
Yeah. I love that show. They actually filmed a segment here in Dover, where I live in Jersey. Number 5. What's your favorite horror movie? And you can't say any of the movies you've been in. So, what's your all-time favorite horror movie?
Probably It, like the original one, like well, I don't know if it was like the Stephen King version.
Like the 2-parter from back in the 80s?
Yeah, because I think that was the first thing I ever saw, and I just really liked it. But I remember watching it in TV in Spanish back in old country.
Nice. Okay, number 6. Are you a Beatles or Elvis chick?
Neither.
Okay.
You know what? Elvis. It would be Elvis.
Okay. I mean, I guess you could say like Led Zeppelin or something. You could supplant in your own option there.
No, we'll go with Elvis. That was actually he did Fools Rush In, right? And Can't Help Falling in Love with You and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was I'm so cheesy, I'm so stupid. I used to sing that to my now husband all the time, and that was our first dance, and I believe we got engaged to that song.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
Yeah.
7. What's the most recent movie you saw in a theater?
Oh geez, I don't know.
You and your husband go see anything recently, or did you sneak out for a matinee, or?
You know, I can't think of it because I haven't seen a movie in the theater for a while because I've been having such crazy like dreams that I don't want to feed it into that because I really wanted to go see Us, and then I think like pregnancy hormones just makes everything so intense. Like whatever I see, I'll like dream about it really intensely. So I actually
it's probably a good idea you didn't see Us then.
Yeah, I remember like really wanting to watch it, and the more I read about it, I was like, I feel like I think I'm gonna have to wait until after he's born, because I don't want the dreams. I had like an intense dream about wasabi. Like I don't.
Was it chasing you? Like what happened?
I don't even know. It was just like really. It was
like a big glob of wasabi with fangs and like mean eyebrows, like just.
No, there just happened to be like wasabi on everything, and it wasn't like scary or anything. It was just like a thing, like you just have like a vivid dream, and you're like, wow, there's wasabi like everywhere. There's wasabi there. There's wasabi like for no reason.
Do you believe in lucid dreaming? Like that's a real thing, like astral projection and all that stuff.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
Just Google it. You'll see. Okay, let's see. Are you popcorn or candy girl when you go to the movies?
Popcorn.
Which you prefer? Okay, cool. What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Of course, that's a good one. And last but not least, we do a fuck, marry, kill. And for fuck, marry, kill, I've got Dee Snider, Adam Green, Joe Lynch.
You marry Adam. Maybe you kill Adam. It's one of the same.
Love-hate relationship.
Dee's a rock star, so I guess that would be fuck. Joey's already married, has kids, so we'll kill Joe.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Laura, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. We've been playing some Twitter tag for a while, and you're really sweet. And I really appreciate you coming on the show and tell us a little bit.
I'm so terrible at getting back to like messages. Like sometimes I'll like see it and I'm like, oh yeah, like I've acknowledged it in my head, but forget to acknowledge it to the other person.
It's totally fine. I wasn't stressing about it. It's all good. I mean, I know your intention was there, and eventually you make it on coming on the show, and you're really kind, and we really do appreciate it so much.
Yeah,
it's
been awesome talking to you.
Best of luck with your son on the way, and we'll be watching what you do and promoting it, of course. And check out Heart Baby Eggplant, which is Laura Ortiz's new project. It's really funny. Should be
on Seed and Spark, and we've got some really fun rewards, incentives, contributions.
I'll definitely throw some money at it right now because I want to see this happen. I want to see more of you because
Awesome.
I'm down with this.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot of great content coming for you this year. We've got reviews for movies, comics, and more. And of course, we will always have fan commentaries for the movies you love. Lots of talk about horror and just mainstream pop culture in general. And probably some Star Wars stuff leading up to Rise of Skywalker. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And become a fan of the channel. Let's hear what you want to see. Leave a comment below and just let me know what you think. Alright guys, talk to you later.